I probably know why I hated English when I was in high school. Because in primary school, it's kind of a conversational English in a way. And in junior high, even though it's still hard, but just because the school that we're going, the materials are actually quite interesting. It's all quite conversational based. It's literally talking about like a family, how they talks day-to-day basis in the textbook.
It's much more relatable.
Yeah. So it's like a dialogue that you actually talks, and then people will act on different role, like your mom today, and then he pretends that he acts as a dad today, and then you start to make a conversation according to the textbook. So it's a lot more interesting. And then since I think maybe the year or like the final year in junior high, it started shifting more exam based, because essentially you want to go to better high school, you need to take the exam. Then it's more like writing and stuff, and also you need to memorize a lot of like how grammar works, etc. It just makes it harder, and then just less interesting. So I just started hating it since then.
So the more you go up, the more formal.
The more formal, the more expectation from your writing. Even though we still have to read it out to help us to memorize it, but it's less conversational, like less fun, basically.
And you care about the right pronunciation as well when you read them out, right?
Just to show off.
Just to show off.
Yeah, just like to show off, like I can read perfect. I've got American accent, I've got British accent. That's how people read it in American. That's how people read it in.
But junior high school students already have a sense of different accents already at that level.
Yeah, well, we're starting now because you watch like movies from Hollywood, and you also watch some British movies. Then you can tell the different. You can tell the accents different, and people start to pick one or the other.
I think, well, to be honest, not many junior high students actually know that there is quite a big difference between American and British English in the first place.
I think we sort of always know it because probably someone told us, or we just pick it up. I think is when your peers all talk about what accent they're speaking in, then you sort of know.
Did you guys have to learn phonetics?
What's phonetics?
Phonetics is like phonetic symbols. So for instance, when you want to pronounce a specific word and look it up in the dictionary, you see like the phonetic symbols, right? Did you learn how to
we learned it.
When did you learn it?
Since we learned English.
So is that like primary school?
Yeah. So it happened same time.
So you learned the phonetics when you're a primary school student?
Yeah, you wouldn't know how to pronounce it if you don't learn it, right?
Exactly, right? We never learn it. Never ever learn it. Never ever.
Really?
Yeah. Nobody knows how to read it. So unless they look it up themselves. Yeah. So a vocabulary book has phonetic symbols, but it doesn't have much explanation around it. And no teachers actually teach about phonetics. So
I think we actually have it. We actually test on them.
Very good. That's very good. Yeah.
And people actually, teacher actually teach one by one how each phonetics is pronounced.
In primary school, right?
In primary school.
Very good.
You go like this and you pronounce it as etc.
Now it's getting really crystal clear where the difference of our English ability is coming from really is obviously from education.
Now I know. Yeah. I thought it's the same. That's why I was quite surprised. I thought it's because how the English, not English, or Chinese and Japanese, the pronunciation is very different. Because I think in Japanese there's no R.
Yeah, there are so many sounds that do not exist in Japanese.
Yeah, but in Chinese I think there's still some of thank you, like the sen, the th.
Yeah.
The pronunciation doesn't exist in China. That's where you can see some of the Chinese people's got a bit of an accent, like they rather than say thank you, they say thank you or like this. But lots of the other words, like it sounds, you can find some similarities in Chinese.
Yeah.
So it's not as hard for them to pronounce it.
Right.
And also the teacher emphasized a lot in terms of pronunciation.
That's good. I think so. It's I think in Japanese, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Lots of people in China, like they say I think, but not because they don't know how to pronounce it.
Right. It's just that it's
habit.
hard.
Yeah, it's habit.
Okay, so we've covered primary school, junior high school, already very different.
Yeah.
Well, primary school you learn phonetics,
Yeah.
quite different and very conversation focused, and you actually encouraged to speak out, very good. Junior high school get a little bit more formal because you have to prepare for the exam. What about high school? You have a very difficult entrance exam that you have to take to get into a good university. Maybe the importance of university in China is not as important. Or
university or high school?
University, because
university,
high school is like a period when you have to
Yeah.
prepare yourself for university,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, I think that's why people start to their English skills start to deteriorate a bit when they're in uni, and it's start to become more exam focused because there's a certain exams you need to take.
High school is a period when you have to prepare for university, so things get like quite like academic focused. So yeah,
High school?
In high school, yes.
No, high school, yeah, it is academic focused, but you still doing the same thing.
So junior high school and high school are pretty much the same.
It's pretty much the same, just that the words get more complicated. You need to memorize a lot more things. It's not as easy as apple and like.
Yeah.
You just need to memorize more things, but we still learn the same way as we need to read it out. It's more writing based, and I can't remember exactly. I thought we still have the speaking, like basic speaking testing you need to do.
Basic speaking test, like
still like talking to the machine.
Talking to a machine.
Yeah, it's pretty hard. Like it's not conversation at all.
You mean to get into a university or like just as part of like regular tests?
I think it's like more like a regular test. Oh, maybe I remember. But to get in
the computer. That's funny.
Yes, that's how we did it. And that's why I hated it. It was so hard because it's no conversation.
Maybe to handle so many people living in China, maybe they had to use computers.
Maybe. And it's weird because there's like, I don't know, like 40 people in the room and they all like use a headphone and talk to the machine.
But you can still hear, right?
You can still hear people.
So you might be able to like
very easily. No, but it's easily get distracted because you need to answer the question on the computer. It's very hard to talk to a machine. There's no response and you don't know how you go and you don't know. You sort of don't know when to stop, etc. And
Did you have a chance to actually have a real life conversation with people in English when you were in high school?
Yeah. Even in junior high. In junior high, we have teachers from I can't remember, is it Australia or America? So that teacher give us like maybe lesson like once a week.
Once a week?
Yeah, maybe about like 45 minutes, and then so he takes like one subject and then once a week. And it's all about speaking because he's from America or from English speaking country.
So how many students did you have in one classroom?
We have so many.
Like how many?
40.
That's normal, I think.
45 something.
That's normal, I think. We also have 40.
I was told by someone 45 is too many.
Oh really?
Yeah.
We had 40. And so every week, native speaker takes charge of English class and speaking focus.
And speak English only class.
And what does he actually do in the class?
He just speaks English about different things, and he probably pick a topic. And then he'll have his own way of just say make conversations with the people, and all need to be very all need to be English based.
Did you have to make a presentation and that kind of stuff as well sometimes?
Some occasionally he'll get like saying not presentation in a way that formal, but sometimes he get like a couple of students going to the stairs and talk, make a conversation. Talk to each other. And we all thought he only speaks English at the time until very last day. He speaking very fluent Chinese, telling us that he's got a Chinese wife and he knows what we talk behind his back in Chinese. And then we're like, ooh.
Didn't know.
No, we didn't know. He faked it real well. Yeah.
So going back to high school English education, did you also have a grammar class? Or
it's not separate, it's all combined with English.
It's all combined. Okay.
So they will teach you pronunciation and then teach you grammar and then teach you
But in terms of the amount of like grammar knowledge you have to absorb to make good foundation, it's quite limited, right? Because grammar, there is a start to an end.
Yeah,
but like when it comes to vocabulary, it's like, what's it called?
Actually, grammar is very complicated. I still find it complicated. Yeah, there's always exceptions about something.
Yeah. But like, so given that, okay, so let's imagine that this is a total size of grammar. Like, how much of the grammar do you think you had already finished when you enter into high school?
I think grammar is more taught in junior high.
Junior high.
Junior high, junior high and high school both.
Junior high and high school.
High school just gets a lot more complicated.
Do you remember what you learned in high school? Like give a grammar. What's an example?
Good question. I think it was like what I learned in high school. I think in junior high we just learn like the past tense and past present tense. And then in high school there's a I can't remember. Like there's a, if you want to say something it's like impossible, for example, say if I were you,
right,
I would do this.
Okay.
Yeah. I would. Yeah.
So that's pretty much the same as I think Japanese English education. So in junior high we just use like normal present tense and past tense, and also have plus a past particle. But when we move on to the high school level, we start doing like learning how to use like which, like comma plus which, and that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah, so just I think it's more for writing.
Right. Okay.
More complicated sentences.
So I think now we all know like what the difference is between Japan and China in terms of English education.
And in China we have there's a very popular institution. Back in days, I think now still very popular, where the parents just send their kids to the place to do English trainings. That one is a much more vocational focus, Yeah. There's more focus on speaking, and they hired a lot of native English speakers to train us English. And also hired some teachers from maybe have overseas backgrounds to teach English, and their accent's perfect. Like they go one way or the other, like American accent or British accent. There's no between. So very authentic accent. So that's how much focus that Chinese people will put on English.
Alright, so thank you so much for taking time today.
And
that was pretty informative, and I think there is something that
very informative for me as well. I was always curious to know why, because I would think
why Japanese people can't speak English.
Yeah, because I would think Japanese people's studies harder than Chinese, or maybe I'm just another stereotype. But that always confused me.
It's just that the direction is a little different.
Yeah, right? Very different.
Yeah, they tend to walk in the wrong direction.
Yeah, because if you don't try to pronounce it, like you're using using your ears, like your hands and your eyes on your side, like all at the same time. It just gets hard to memorize it. That's how we been taught, and as we grow up. So that's why pronunciation is very important.
Yep.
And also it's a very, if you speak very fluent English, like me speaking, it's a very good way to show off.
Show off.
Like,
but showing off is like one way to build your confidence, right? So
yeah, and that's why people encourage you to go to English corner in China, speaking, find some native speakers, and just create an environment that everyone speaks in.
That's interesting. Hopefully, Japanese English education changes soon. I hope. I'm not sure when it's happening, but hopefully I can make a bit of contribution to it.
Hopefully this
Through this channel.
video can make a bit of a contribution
Exactly.
to it. Yeah.
All right, so thank you very much, Michelle.
No worries.
And thank you very much. I'll see you guys in
Thank you,
the next
everyone.
video. Bye.